So, I've just been running lower crossed runs, and I think everyone kind of knew weapon racks and armor racks were predisposed to generate a set number of items, or specific ones based on your seed. And my understanding is this was always semi-influenceable, and we've never, at least to my understanding, understood the specific triggers as to why. So what I've observed is I have a thresher rack, and it is dropping threshers, I would say, 80% of the time. Now, I've also observed that my patterns will influence this outcome. So I've noticed if I go into lower Karast, get there pretty quickly without being engaged by monsters with 3 teleports, decent speed, and I telly it, it racks a thresher. Almost every time. I've started noticing patterns where if my mercenary, for example, holy freezes something or engages on something, I'll get something like a maiden spear or gothic sword. And I've also potentially noticed that timing could be relevant as well. But I'm starting to have a theory more that it's based on player routing. As long as you don't leave certain areas, or if you don't generate, or if you don't render certain parts of the map. So I'm going to show this now. So we're going to have a standard run here. This is exactly how I do it every time. Well, not like that. So this one already might be pooched, but there's a monster there, so that's a hand scythe. Okay. Doesn't seem promising right away, right? But my mercenary did engage something, and I've noticed that's been throwing off the RNG. There's the thresher. So it's highly likely, and once again, highly likely, that I am just insane, and I'm looking at a 90% thresher rack, and I'm doing multiple cases of correlation is causation, blah, blah, blah. But this is looking really convincing to me, because I've done this exact route probably a few hundred times now, and I'm starting to see, the pattern here. I'm not seeing any patterns with the chest to the right. I think that has far too many permutations. I think it's like something like 65,000. Okay, so I was able to open it before my mercenary engaged. And yes, on this run I do have, the full 6 chests. I've noticed I wasn't racking threshers when I was doing the full run. Or if I was, it was on a very low rate. So he engaged and I got a one-handed weapon. So I don't think it works like that, but I think Cutlass is a exceptional scimitar? I forget. Oop, I fucked that up, so I missed the rack. Alright, so it doesn't seem, it just seems like we're looking at a high odd thresher right now. But I'm gonna keep running it with proper muscle memory, and if it racks indifferently, I'll try to explain why it did. So that was a standard run, nothing was engaged on, my mercenary didn't get to hit the birds, he didn't wholly freeze them. Ceremonial Pike, I have not seen that one before. So I've done a lot of runs, and I have never seen that one. So that could be an extremely rare from that rack, and it could have overrode the original thresher, because to my knowledge, I did everything properly. However, I could have fucked up somewhere. So, to clarify, I'm joining in, walking forward, tallying, lower cross, frost armor, 3 teleports, bit of a walk, and then unracking. I've noticed I can kind of ignore the frost armor sometimes. Whoops. Okay, that was okay. So, I think my conclusion is that I do have a thresher rack. It is very, very highly likely. Maiden Javelin happens when my Merc engages. Gothic Sword as well. Okay, so there's the thresher. Okay. So it's just very likely. It honestly is. It's just over and over time again I'm seeing that something else is going on here. Here's the Gothic Sword. I'm starting to feel if my Merc decides that he's going to go into I want to kill you mode to enemies, the drop changes. So I could consider dropping him. There's the Thresher. So we're going to go for as many Threshers in a row as we can right now. and see how many my merc fucks up. He engaged there. It is possible that enemies rendered on screen is a factor as well. Maybe I'm teleporting slightly too far to the left or right during some of these. He engaged there, and I didn't get it. Okay, this is starting to really... This is Player's 8, by the way. This is really starting to feel like it's holding up. Because every single time I get a completely clean, no enemies, I get my Thresher. But every single time when my Merc has decided, okay, I'm gonna fucking kill you and go after these, I get a different drop. So I've been actually having really bad luck with enemies these past few runs, so it seems like it's like, oh yeah, you're just getting lucky, kid. But hold on a second. There's the Thresher. He didn't engage anything. Okay, this is interesting. All right. So the real question is, what can I influence this weapon rack to do? Because I know it's impossible to rack Sacred Armors. But I know it's possible to rack almost everything below almost. You can engage. He was in walk up and kill something mode. And all of these weapons feel genuinely random. So we're going to just do a few more with my Merc, and then I'm going to be dropping him. Ceremonial Pike. See, and I didn't do anything to my knowledge differently. But then again, I think Ceremonial Pike, I said, was that weird rare one that we haven't seen before. So maybe that one just has a set rate on the seed to spawn. Rarely. 1, 2, 3. He's in walk up and kill something mode. Okay, I'm dropping the Merc. So can I dismiss or I have to get him killed? Probably have to get him killed. Alright, let's get him killed. I'm gonna do one more though. Okay. Alright. Need something to kill my Merc. Alright, perfect. Good. Please kill my Merc, please. You guys can do it, I believe. There we go. Okay. Alright. I've also been paying great attention to where I'm clicking. It's either a piece of dust on my screen. It totally is. So I've been clicking on this piece of dust right here to teleport 3 times. Sometimes I'm horribly off. But I've noticed when I pay attention to the clicking there, maybe it shouldn't. If it's hinging on me not rendering certain parts of the map, I can understand that. But there's the ceremonial again. Okay. So I haven't looked in the factors like teleporting rate, speed. If I go as fast as I can right here, maybe it's the ceremonial again. No? Okay. But yeah, I got to one point where I was up to 15 in a row. And it seems really dependent on monsters. Is my big thing right now. So this is a Thresher. Oh, it wasn't. Okay. Well. Bit of a walk. Open. Gothic. Got engaged on. Okay. So maybe we're just looking at a lunatic. Opening a rack. That has a high Thresher chance. I want to do more runs of this. I think this needs to be... There's the ceremonial again. I feel like this needs to be more conclusive, without a doubt. But my initial findings are looking very promising, to say the least. I feel like I'm going a lot faster when I'm doing this. I think I'm getting too good at it. Okay, we're gonna do 5 more. 5 more runs. And I'm gonna do my absolute best to make sure my timing is right. This should be fine though. Yeah, okay. See, I'm not sure what a statistically significant number of threshers in a row would be to suggest. Oh, that might actually be something I want. Sorry, one sec. Ooh. So, it's just, it's, you know, I would like to know the number. Okay. I've been trying to teleport to the right of the fire. This sounds like such gobbledygook. There it is. Okay, there's 4. So if this was 90%, this wouldn't be anything impressive yet. Maiden Javelin. Oh, there was a monster there. I did not see him because I can't see anything. But maybe let's just pretend that one didn't happen. I'm not sure if that's how an RNG works. Also monsters. Gladius. Oh. So, maybe, just maybe, when enemies haven't aggroed, yeah, your RNG, so when an enemy decides to aggro you, your RNG changes. You know what? Thresher. No aggro. No fucking way. So you can influence it based on an enemy forcing an enemy to attack you. That would be extremely powerful. No enemies, Thresher, 100%. There it is. No shit. Okay. I think I have a nice preliminary conclusion. Yep. I'm gonna do it a few more times, but I'm almost thinking my routing there isn't relevant anymore. Okay, I'm not getting a Thresher. I am. Could just be a 90%. You gotta keep that in mind. It's weird. This is like a roller coaster of me thinking I figured it out, and then other moments where I haven't. And I think generally when that happens enough, we can just safely conclude it's RNG. Gladius again. Enemies in the house. I'm sure this is giving some useful data to people that are actually interested in looking at this, because this is fascinating to me. And Thresher, done. Yeah, no enemies. I'm getting a Thresher. So I want to look at the number of times I did not receive a Thresher when there were no enemies around. And by around, I mean, well, I guess actually, if an enemy's moving, it's technically aggroed. So I've had a fair number of scenarios. Number of enemies rendered? Potentially could throw that off. That one was 4. Maybe I miscounted. I probably did. So there's a leaper on me. Okay. There's maybe 3. Okay. Well, I've been doing this for 13 minutes like a madman. If anything, this doesn't prove anything. It's still horribly inconclusive and almost practically useless. But I think it does heavily suggest or reaffirm something that we all already kind of knew, is certain weapon racks are heavily predisposed to drop certain items. What I'm beginning to suggest here is that monsters are heavily influencing this, and the number of monsters that are generated heavily correlate to what can drop. Oh, hey, all right, I'm ending the video there. That's a great way to end it. I didn't even mean to open that one actually, so that's great. So I think yes. In conclusion, I think yes, racks are extremely predisposed to drop an item. However, I think that our assumption of that predisposition is based on other elements. I don't think the rack says, I'm going to choose to drop it like this at X amount of time. I think it's looking at other factors within RNG within the game. And I don't think we're just looking at a simple, 1 in 500 or, 1 in 20. I really don't. It just seems... I don't know. It seems far too unlikely for that anymore. Especially when my routing has been like this. Then again, I bet if I go and average this, I have a really good chest, or a really good unracking rate. And it's probably close to what other people have reported. I think I'll only be able to be comfortably conclusive with this at 100%. And I think that would be it. The number of times where I have not found a thresher with an enemy not really close to me is low. But I notice a lot of the time, I'd say almost a strong majority of the time, when I have enemies aggroed onto me, I'm not going to get it. Sorry, this is just so fascinating. I was supposed to end a few minutes ago. But... see, that's the answer thresher. And I am teleporting kind of slow up to there. This is my superstition going on right now. Do some fast TPs here. Yeah, looks like it doesn't matter. But then again, that's not conclusive. So, once again, kind of pointless video. But if you find a weapon rack and it gives you an elite or an armor, anything, armor rack, and it gives you something you want, especially if you're looking for that e-bug armor, like I am for my Merce right now, it's probably heavily in your interest to abuse this, because you will find things that you want. Oh, this is single player, by the way. I'm working on my, what is it called, obedience. Yeah, then I have my infinity ready to go. I have my garbage insight. So that one was what I was using before. But, I found these within 15 minutes of each other. And I don't know. I think this is a good thing to look at. I think it's something that I think should be explored more. I think influencing RNG. I think we can get shadow plates potentially from armor racks. No, it would be the next one down, I think. So this would be such an amazing way to get reliable e-bug armor. So I'm going to be researching this more. I'm going to be finding armor racks, and I'm going to be taking a look in Lower Crossed, and I will go from there. No one's probably going to watch this, and people are probably just going to say, yeah, you're a moron, it's just a flat rate, and you've been you've just been going along the motions and finding, just because it correlates, you think it's causation. I get it. Realistically, it probably is. But it's interesting. So there's my 17-minute video on unracking armor chests or weapon chests in a almost 20-year-old video game. Cool. All right. Bye.